What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and in today's video we're going to talk about the history of the Enclave armor. Now, I think the Enclave power armor is pretty interesting. It's always been interesting in my opinions in the Fallout games. I'm not going to cover the Enclave Tesla armor from Fallout 3 or the Enclave Hellfire armor from Fallout 3. I might do that later on sometime. But the reason that a lot of people have different theories on Enclave power armor now is because when Fallout 76 released, the X01 power armor was considered to be an Enclave prototype armor, but I don't think so, and this is just my opinion. I actually have a lot of faith in this theory, that this is the right theory. Now here's what I think. I think that the United States military created the X01 before the war, which is right. And then what I think happened was, once they created this power armor, the Enclave, which was the remnants of the United States military, after the atomic bombs fell, used that power armor and upgraded it. Because the X01 is definitely not the Enclave armor. It is a lot worse, and it's missing quite a bit of features, actually. The helmet looks a little bit different, and also one thing that's interesting is that the Fallout 4 X01 and Fallout 76 have a fusion core that goes in them, but we know that's not true in the other games. That wouldn't make a lot of sense, because if you upgraded the armor, if the X01 was like the same armor, or it was upgraded version, it would have a nuclear reactor in the back. The ones from Fallout 2 and Fallout New Vegas all had this little mini nuclear reactor in the back of them. That's how they were powered up. So this will make more sense. If you remember in Fallout New Vegas, you remember how they had a fan? That's a mini nuclear reactor in them. So that means it never really would, the suit would run dead. It would just keep powered up. Now, with fusion cores, you would have to find fusion cores quite a bit. So that's definitely a downside for the X01, which wouldn't make a lot of sense. Another thing is, like I said, the helmet looks a little different. There's just a lot of things that don't look the same. So it's definitely not the same armor. I think the X01 was what the military made before the war. The Enclave used that armor after the bombs fell, and they upgraded it and made the Enclave Advanced Power Armor. Now, as far as moving on to the Tesla armor, which we've seen in Fallout New Vegas, the Arcade Gannon's family Tesla armor. Now, the story with that armor is all that's been done to that armor is they took the standard Enclave Advanced Power Armor, which they upgraded from the X01, and jury-rigged a Tesla device onto it, and made it the Tesla armor. Now, that's how that works. Now, moving on. Now, if we remember in Fallout 2, Frank Horrigan had a unique version of Enclave armor, and it really looks a lot similar to the Fallout 3 Enclave armor that we've seen, the standard Enclave armor. It's like an upgraded version. It looks very similar to his, and I think it is. Maybe it's just a, earlier version of what the Enclave made in the Capital Wasteland. And I think that's what Frank Horrigan did. Is just wore that suit, because if you look in the wiki, or you do some, look it up and just do some history searching on it, the Enclave had the advanced armor and they had the Tesla armor, but they had the Enclave armor from Fallout 3 on the oil rig. There's very few suits of it, and it's inaccessible in Fallout 2. But the lore claims that it was actually on the oil rig. And I think that's what Frank Horrigan's armor was, because it looks very, very similar to that. Now, moving on to, talking about that, is the armor, what they did with the Enclave armor from Fallout 3 was they upgraded the Advanced Power Armor. Instead of having a mini nuclear reactor, it had a backpack-like. It had a Let me think. It's like a backpack. I wrote some notes over here. Let me look in case I forgot. Okay, it's called a back-mounted power pack. And that's what that was. It's basically like the mini nuclear reactor, but it's just like that little square, like box we seen on the back of the power armor in Fallout 3. So it did have a mini nuclear reactor, but it was like upgraded in a backpack called the back-mounted power pack. So as you can see, the story of what I think happened with the Enclave armor is that, okay, so I want to go over this one more time. I think the military made the XO1, the Enclave used it, made the advanced power armor, and then since they had Frank Horgan, they're like, well, let's make a new armor. So they had upgraded the advanced power armor, added some new things, did some work on it, and eventually made the power armor we see from Fallout 3 that the Enclave wear. I think that's how that worked. Now, I didn't mention the Tesla armor in there, because the Tesla armor is just the advanced Enclave armor with a jury-rigged Tesla thing on the back, like I said before. So anyway, hope you all enjoyed this video on my theory of how the Enclave armor was made up into Fallout 3. Now I might cover more of the Fallout 3 stuff and maybe later on, but anyway, I just wanted to cover that part. Maybe you don't like my theory and maybe you have a better one. Please let me know your theory. I always like to read comments on, things, what other people think, and hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like. If you didn't enjoy it, give it a dislike. And until next time, thank you so much for watching.